My family had a secret group chat where they insulted me until my aunt accidentally sent me a voice message meant for them calling me names. When I confronted them at Thanksgiving, they learned the truth about who I really was. I stared at my phone screen, my hands trembling as I pressed play on the voice message for the third time. My Aunt Patricia's voice came through crystal clear, dripping with venom I'd never heard directed at me before. God, Elena is so pathetic. Did you see what she wore to dinner last week? Like she's trying to compete with Hannah. She'll never be half the woman her sister is. And that job of hers? Please. A glorified secretary is what it is. I don't know why Margaret and David even bother inviting her to family events anymore. Laughter erupted in the background. My mother's distinctive cackle, my sister Hannah's snort, even my father's deep chuckle. They were all there, together, laughing at me. The voice message had been meant for their group chat, the one I'd noticed references to over the past year. Did you see the chat? They'd say to each other at gatherings, exchanging knowing glances. Check the group. My mother would text my sister during Sunday dinners when I said something they apparently found amusing. I'd asked about it once. Oh, just boring family stuff, Hannah had said, waving her hand dismissively. You wouldn't be interested. Now I understood. The group chat wasn't family. It was everyone except me. I sat on my bedroom floor, my back against the bed, and opened the message thread with Aunt Patricia. The voice message sat there like a bomb. She'd sent it at 2:17 in the afternoon. 3 minutes later, she'd sent another message. Delete that. Wrong person. But I'd already heard it, already saved it, already felt something inside me crack and reform into something harder, colder. My name is Elena Mitchell, 32 years old. I work as an executive assistant to the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, a job my family had always treated as barely above unemployment. I live in a modest apartment in the city, drive a practical sedan, and dress conservatively. Next to my younger sister Hannah, I've always been the plain one, the boring one, the disappointing one. Hannah is beautiful. Hannah is successful. Hannah married Trevor, a corporate lawyer, in a wedding that cost more than I make in 2 years. Hannah has everything, and I've spent my entire life being reminded that I don't. But what my family didn't know, what they'd never bothered to ask or discover, was that I wasn't just an executive assistant. I was the executive assistant to Richard Caldwell, CEO of Caldwell Pharmaceuticals. The man didn't make a single business decision without my input. The board members went through me to reach him. I managed his entire professional life, knew every secret of the company, held access to information that could move markets, and I was very, very good at what I did. 3 months ago, Richard had pulled me aside after a particularly challenging board meeting. Elena, he'd said, you've been invaluable to this company. I'm making you chief of staff. Salary increased to $250,000 annually, full benefits, and stock options. I'd accepted quietly, asking him not to announce it publicly until the next quarter. I'd wanted to surprise my family at Thanksgiving, to finally have something that would make them proud, that would prove I wasn't the failure they believed me to be. That was before I heard the voice message. Now, sitting on my floor with my phone clutched in my hand, I realized something liberating. I didn't need their approval anymore. I didn't want it. What I wanted was something else entirely. I stood up, walked to my computer, and opened my cloud storage. The voice message automatically backed up. I created a new folder, labeled it carefully, and began to plan. Thanksgiving was in 3 weeks. My mother had already confirmed I was expected at 2 o'clock for the family gathering at my parents' house. Hannah and Trevor would be there. Aunt Patricia and Uncle George, my grandmother, various cousins, the whole extended Mitchell family, gathering to celebrate gratitude and togetherness. This year's Thanksgiving was going to be very different. Over the next 2 weeks, I did something I'd never done before. I paid attention, really paid attention. I started documenting everything, every dismissive comment, every eye roll when I spoke, every time they changed the subject when I shared news about my life, every reference to the chat that excluded me. At Sunday dinner, my mother asked what I was doing for Thanksgiving. I'll be there, I said, cutting my chicken carefully. Well, try to make an effort with your appearance this year, she said, not looking up from her plate. Hannah's bringing her new business partner. First impressions matter. Of course, Mom, Hannah smirked from across the table. Maybe I can lend you something to wear. I have some older pieces that might work for you. That's very generous, I said, my voice even. My father glanced up from his phone. Elena, did you ever follow up on that job opportunity I mentioned? My golf buddy's company is looking for a receptionist. Better benefits than what you probably have now. I'm happy where I am, Dad, he shrugged. Suit yourself. Just trying to help you move up in the world. After dinner, as I helped clear the table, I heard my mother's phone buzz. She glanced at it and laughed. Oh, Patricia sent something to the chat, she typed quickly, chuckling to herself. I said nothing, just smiled and continued loading the dishwasher. That night, I received a text from Hannah. Mom said you're coming to Thanksgiving. Try not to be too awkward this year, okay? Trevor's partner is really important to his career. I stared at the message for a long moment, then replied, I'll do my best. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I received another accidental message. This time, it was a screenshot my cousin Jennifer had meant to send to the group chat, but instead sent directly to me. It was a photo I'd posted on social media from a work event, standing next to Richard and several board members. The caption Jennifer had added before sending it, look at Elena trying to act important, posing with her boss like she's actually somebody. So desperate. The screenshot included partial views of other messages in their chat. Months of them. Years. Probably. All about me. All mocking me. I saved that too. On Thanksgiving morning, I woke up early. I dressed carefully, choosing not one of my usual conservative outfits outfits, but something I'd purchased specifically for this day. A stunning emerald green dress that fit perfectly, elegant but powerful. I did my makeup with more care than usual. I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. This version of Elena wasn't trying to blend in, wasn't trying to make herself smaller to make others comfortable. This Elena was done apologizing for existing. I arrived at my parents' house at exactly 2 o'clock. My mother opened the door, her eyes widening slightly at my appearance before her expression cooled. Elena, you're very dressed up. It's Thanksgiving, Mom. I thought I'd make an effort. She stepped aside to let me in. Well, everyone's in the living room. Try not to monopolize the conversation this year, dear. We have important guests. I walked into the living room carrying a bottle of expensive wine and a carefully wrapped gift basket. Hannah sat on the couch next to Trevor, her hand on his arm possessively. Aunt Patricia perched on the love seat with Uncle George. My grandmother occupied the armchair near the fireplace. Various cousins and family friends filled the remaining spaces. All conversation stopped when I entered. Elena, my father said, standing with forced joviality. There she is. Come in, come in. I handed the wine to my mother. For dinner. She glanced at the label and her eyebrows rose slightly. It was a $400 bottle, but she said nothing, just took it to the kitchen. I sat in the only available spot, a chair in the corner, and folded my hands in my lap. Hannah recovered first. That's a nice dress, Elena. Is it new? It is, thank you. Must have cost you a pretty penny on your salary, Aunt Patricia said with a thin smile. I manage, I replied. The conversation resumed around me, flowing as it always did, with me at the periphery. They discussed Hannah's latest real estate success, Trevor's promotion, various family achievements. I sat quietly, waiting. During dinner, I was seated at the end of the table, as always. The conversation buzzed around me. I ate my turkey, sipped my wine, and checked my phone periodically. Finally, as dessert was being served, my mother tapped her glass with a spoon. I'd like to make a toast, she announced, to family, to being surrounded by the people we love, who make us proud, who make everything worthwhile. Everyone raised their glasses. I raised mine as well. And specifically, my mother continued, beaming at Hannah, to my darling Hannah, who just closed the biggest real estate deal of her career this week, $3.2 million. We're so incredibly proud of you, sweetheart. Applause erupted around the table. Hannah stood, giving a small bow, her face glowing with pride. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, everyone. I have to say, it feels amazing to finally be successful enough to make my family proud. Finally. The word hung in the air like accusation. Well, I said quietly, setting down my wine glass. I suppose this is as good a time as any. All eyes turned to me. I reached into my purse and pulled out my phone, placing it carefully on the table in front of me. Elena, we're in the middle of Hannah's celebration, my mother said sharply. Whatever you have to say can wait. Actually, it can't, I replied, my voice steady. You see, I've been doing some thinking lately about family, about loyalty, about what it means to be part of a group. Hannah rolled her eyes. God, here we go. Are you really going to make this moment about you? In a way, yes. I looked around the table, meeting each person's gaze. 3 weeks ago, Aunt Patricia accidentally sent me a voice message, one that was meant for your secret group chat, the one all of you have been using to mock me for the past several years. The color drained from Aunt Patricia's face. My mother's fork clattered against her plate. Hannah's smug expression faltered. I don't know what you're talking about, my father said, but his voice lacked conviction. Really? I picked up my phone and pressed play. Aunt Patricia's voice filled the dining room. God, Elena is so pathetic. Did you see what she wore to dinner last week? Like she's trying to compete with Hannah. She'll never be half the woman her sister is. I let it play for 10 seconds before stopping it. The silence that followed was absolute. That's not, Aunt Patricia started, but I held up my hand. There's more. Would you like to hear the messages about how I'm a glorified secretary? Or the ones where you all discuss how embarrassing it is to introduce me to your friends? Or perhaps my personal favorite, the thread where you debated whether to even invite me to Hannah's wedding because I might bring down the aesthetic. My grandmother sat frozen, her face pale. Several cousins stared at their plates. Trevor looked genuinely uncomfortable. Hannah recovered first, her expression hardening. Okay, fine. You found out. So what? Maybe if you weren't so boring and mediocre, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. Hannah! My mother hissed, but she didn't deny it. No, Mom. Let's be honest for once, Hannah continued, standing up. Elena has always been the disappointment of this family. You work a dead-end job as someone's assistant. You live in that tiny apartment. You drive that embarrassing car. You dress like you shop at discount stores. Every family gathering, we have to watch you sit there with nothing interesting to contribute, while the rest of us actually accomplish things. I nodded slowly. I see. And you all agree with this assessment? My mother opened her mouth, closed it, then said carefully, Sweetheart, you have to understand. We weren't trying to hurt you. It's just that sometimes, well, you make it difficult. You've never really tried to better yourself. Better myself, I repeated. Interesting choice of words. My father cleared his throat. Elena, perhaps if you'd taken some of the opportunities we've tried to give you over the years, instead of stubbornly insisting on staying at that job, I interrupted, is the one you're referring to, correct? My position as an executive assistant? Yes, exactly, Hannah jumped in. You've been someone's secretary for what, 8 years now? Most people would have tried to move up by now. But you're comfortable being mediocre. I stood up slowly, smoothing my dress. I want to make sure I understand correctly. You've all been mocking me, insulting me, excluding me from family events and conversations because you believe I'm unsuccessful and mediocre. Is that accurate? We didn't exclude you from events, my mother protested weakly. The group chat is an event, Mother. Every time you all gathered around your phones, laughing at messages I wasn't allowed to see, every inside joke I wasn't part of, every time someone said, check the chat, and then looked at me like I was stupid for not understanding the reference. I paused. That was exclusion. That was deliberate. Aunt Patricia finally found her voice. Elena, I'm sorry about the voice message. I truly am. It was a mistake. The mistake wasn't sending it to me. I cut her off. The mistake was thinking you had the right to say those things at all. Oh, please, Hannah scoffed. Don't act like you're some victim here. You've always been jealous of me, of my success, of my life. Maybe that's why you never tried harder. Jealous, I said softly. You think I'm jealous of you? Of course you are. You always have been. The pretty sister, the successful sister, the one mom and dad are actually proud of. I looked at my mother. Is that true? Are you proud of Hannah? My mother's face flushed. Of course I am. She's accomplished so much. And me? Your other daughter? Silence. Mom? I pressed. Elena, you're being unfair. This isn't the time. Answer the question. Are you proud of me? My mother looked away. I wish you'd tried harder in life. That's all. Something inside me, the last fragile thread of hope I'd been holding on to, snapped cleanly. I felt it happen, felt the weight of it fall away. Thank you, I said. Thank you for finally being honest. I picked up my phone and pulled up my email. Since we're being honest, I'd like to share something with all of you. 3 months ago, I was promoted. My new title is Chief of Staff at Caldwell Pharmaceuticals. My salary is $250,000 annually, plus stock options, plus full benefits. I manage every aspect of the CEO's professional life. Board members go through me to reach him. I have access to information that moves markets. I am, in every sense, one of the most powerful people in a Fortune 500 company. I looked around the table, watching jaws drop, watching the color drain from faces. I was going to announce it tonight. I was going to surprise you all, hoping that maybe, finally, you'd see me as someone worth respecting, someone worth including. I laughed, the sound bitter. But then Aunt Patricia sent me that voice message, and I realized something important. I don't need your respect. I don't need your approval. I don't need any of you. Hannah's face had gone white. You're lying. I pulled up my company ID on my phone, showing the screen around the table. Elena Mitchell, Chief of Staff. Caldwell Pharmaceuticals. I can also show you my last pay stub if you'd like. Or perhaps the email from Richard Caldwell himself, congratulating me on the promotion. My father stared at the phone, his expression stunned. $250,000 annually, plus bonuses. Last year's bonus was $40,000. But why didn't you tell us? My mother asked, her voice faint. Because I wanted to wait for the right moment. I wanted it to be special. I wanted to see your faces when you realized I wasn't the failure you believed me to be. I slipped my phone back into my purse. But instead, I found out what you really think of me, who you really are, and that's actually more valuable than any promotion. Trevor spoke for the first time. Elena, I think everyone here owes you an apology. An apology? I repeated. For years of mockery? For exclusion? For treating me like I was less than human? I shook my head. An apology doesn't cover it. Hannah had recovered somewhat, her face flushing with anger. Fine. You have a good job. Congratulations. That doesn't change the fact that you've always been weird and antisocial, that you've never fit in with this family. You're right, I agreed. I've never fit in, because fitting in required me to be someone I'm not. It required me to accept being treated as lesser. It required me to smile and nod while all of you tore me apart behind my back. I picked up my purse. I'm leaving now. But before I go, I want you all to know something. That group chat you created, the one where you spent years insulting me, I have screenshots of everything. Every cruel message, every mocking comment, every deliberate exclusion. Aunt Patricia gasped. You wouldn't share them publicly? No, I wouldn't. That would make me like you. But I will keep them as a reminder, as proof of who you all really are. Elena, please. My mother stood up, reaching for me. Let's talk about this. We can work this out. I stepped back, away from her touch. There's nothing to work out, Mother. You've made your feelings about me very clear. You all have. But we're family. My grandmother spoke for the first time, her voice trembling. Are we? I looked at her. Because family doesn't treat each other the way you've treated me. Family doesn't create secret chats to mock one of their own. Family doesn't exclude someone for sport. I walked toward the door, then paused and turned back. Hannah, congratulations on your $3.2 million sale. That's genuinely impressive. I hope it brings you all the happiness you deserve. The words hung in the air, loaded with meaning. Where are you going? My father demanded. I have other plans for Thanksgiving. Plans with people who actually value me. What people? Hannah sneered. You don't have friends. I smiled. That's what you think. But then again, you don't actually know anything about my life, do you? You never asked. You were too busy assuming I was pathetic to bother finding out who I really am. I opened the door, then looked back one final time. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your group chat. Enjoy discussing how awful I am. But do it without me. From this moment forward, I'm done with all of you. You can't just leave the family, my mother cried. Watch me. I walked out, closing the door behind me. I sat in my car for a moment, hands gripping the steering wheel, waiting for the tears to come. But they didn't. Instead, I felt something unexpected. Relief. Pure, overwhelming relief. My phone started buzzing immediately. Text after text. Hannah, you're being dramatic. Come back inside. My mother. Elena, please. Let's discuss this like adults. Aunt Patricia. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. My father. This is ridiculous. Get back in here right now. I blocked every single number. Then I drove to the address I'd been invited to 3 days earlier. An address I'd almost declined, thinking I should spend Thanksgiving with family. How how naive that seemed now. Richard Caldwell lived in a stunning townhouse in the historic district. When I'd mentioned casually that I had no special plans for Thanksgiving, he'd invited me immediately. My wife and I host every year, he'd said. Small gathering, very casual. We'd love to have you, Elena. You're family to us. Family to us. People I'd worked with for 8 years, and they considered me family. People who'd never seen me as lesser, who valued my contributions, who respected me. I parked and checked my reflection in the mirror. My makeup was still perfect. Not a single tear had fallen. Sarah Caldwell opened the door, her face lighting up when she saw me. Elena, you made it. Come in, come in. Let me take your coat. The house was warm, filled with laughter and the smell of roasting turkey. I recognized several people from the office, along with faces I didn't know. Everyone greeted me with genuine warmth. Elena, Richard appeared, glass of wine in hand. I'm so glad you came. Come meet everyone. I spent the evening surrounded by people who asked about my life, who listened when I spoke, who laughed at my jokes, who treated me like I mattered. It was the best Thanksgiving I'd ever had. Over the next week, my phone continued to blow up. I'd unblocked the numbers just to see what they were saying, without responding. My mother sent daily messages. Elena, we need to talk. This has gone too far. Hannah's texts alternated between apologetic and angry. Fine, we were wrong. Happy? Now stop being petty and talk to us. Followed hours later by, you're tearing this family apart. I hope you're proud of yourself. Aunt Patricia sent a long email detailing how sorry she was, how she'd never meant to hurt me, how the voice message was taken out of context. My father's messages were characteristically blunt. You're overreacting. Families tease each other. Grow up. I responded to none of them. Instead, I threw myself into work. Richard had asked me to lead a major project reorganizing our company's operational structure. I spent 12-hour days at the office, weekends reviewing proposals, evenings networking at industry events. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, I attended a pharmaceutical industry gala. It was the kind of event where deals were made over champagne, where connections were everything. I wore a black evening gown, my hair styled professionally, my confidence visible in every step. I networked with executives, discussed industry trends with board members, laughed at appropriate moments during speeches, and that's when I saw them, Hannah and Trevor, across the room. Hannah wore a stunning red dress, her arm linked through Trevor's. They were working the room, clearly networking. Trevor's law firm must have gotten tickets. I watched as Hannah's gaze swept the ballroom and landed on me. Her eyes widened. She said something to Trevor, and they both stared. I turned back to my conversation with a board member from a competing pharmaceutical company, deliberately ignoring them. 5 minutes later, Hannah appeared at my elbow. Elena, she said, her voice tight. I didn't expect to see you here. I turned slowly, my expression neutral. Hannah, Trevor, what a surprise. You're attending this gala? Hannah's tone suggested I'd somehow crashed a party I didn't belong at. Yes, my company has a table. I'm here with Richard Caldwell and several board members. Trevor's eyebrows rose. You're here with the CEO of Caldwell Pharmaceuticals? I work with him closely as his chief of staff. Hannah's jaw tightened. Right, your new promotion. The one you threw in our faces at Thanksgiving. I didn't throw anything in your faces. I simply corrected your assumption that I was a failure. A distinguished older man approached us. Elena, there you are. Richard wants to introduce you to someone. Of course. I turned to leave, then paused. Enjoy the gala. As I walked away, I heard Trevor whisper to Hannah, did she just get escorted away by Marcus Devlin? That's the chairman of the board. The rest of the evening, I felt Hannah's eyes on me, watching as I mingled with people she could only dream of accessing, watching as CEOs knew my name, as board members sought my opinion, as I moved through the room with the ease of someone who belonged. When I finally left at 11, Trevor was waiting by the coat check. Elena, can we talk? Just for a moment? I paused. About what? Look, I know Thanksgiving was rough, but Hannah's been miserable since you left. Your whole family has been. Maybe you could what? Forgive them? Pretend years of mockery never happened? They made a mistake. People make mistakes. A mistake is accidentally sending the wrong message. What they did was deliberate, sustained cruelty. That's not a mistake, Trevor. That's a choice. He shifted uncomfortably. Hannah's your sister. Hannah spent years telling me I was worthless, that I was an embarrassment, that I didn't deserve to be part of the family. I pulled on my coat. Blood doesn't obligate me to accept abuse. She's sorry. Then she can tell me herself. Oh wait, she can't, because I've blocked her number. I walked out into the cold December night, leaving Trevor standing there. The next day, I received an email from my mother, not to my personal address, which I'd blocked, but to my work email. She'd somehow found it. Elena, please, your father is having health issues and the stress of this situation isn't helping. We need to resolve this as a family. Can we meet for coffee? Just you and me? I stared at the email for a long moment. The manipulation was subtle, but clear. Your father's health, the stress you're causing. I deleted it without responding. That evening, I had dinner with my friend Monica, someone I'd known since college but had drifted away from over the years. As family obligations had consumed more of my time, friendships had fallen by the wayside. I can't believe they created an entire group chat just to mock you, Monica said, her expression horrified. For years? Apparently so. And you never suspected? I suspected I was the outsider. I just didn't realize the extent of it. Monica shook her head. You know what the worst part is? You spent all that time trying to prove yourself to them, and they never deserved it. They never deserved you. Her words hit harder than expected. I wasted a lot of years. Not wasted. You learned who they really are. That's valuable information. Over the next month, I began rebuilding relationships I'd neglected. Monica and I started having weekly dinners. I reconnected with college friends. I joined a book club. I started going to yoga classes. I built a life that had nothing to do with my family. Christmas approached. My mother sent another email to my work address. We're having Christmas Eve dinner as always. You're expected at 6. Please don't make this worse by not showing up. Expected, not invited, expected. I replied from my work email, I have other plans. Do not contact me at this address again. This is my professional email and using it to reach me constitutes harassment. She didn't respond. On Christmas Eve, I volunteered at a homeless shelter, serving dinner to people who had nowhere else to go. It was the most meaningful Christmas I'd ever experienced. On Christmas morning, I woke to 17 missed calls from various family members. I didn't listen to the voicemails. Then, on December 28th, something changed. I received an email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line read, "You don't know me, but I know your family." I almost deleted it as spam, but something made me open it. "Dear Elena, my name is Christine Morrison. You don't know me, but I'm Jennifer's therapist. She gave me permission to contact you. Jennifer has been carrying significant guilt about her participation in the family group chat and the treatment you received. In our sessions, she's expressed that she never felt comfortable with how you were discussed, but felt pressured to participate to avoid becoming the next target. She's asked me to reach out because she's afraid to contact you directly. She would like to apologize in person if you're willing. I want to be clear. I'm not asking you to forgive anyone or reconcile with your family. I'm simply passing along her request. If you're not interested, I completely understand and won't contact you again. Sincerely, Dr. Christine Morrison." I stared at the email for a long time. Jennifer was my cousin, 3 years younger than me. We'd been close as children before high school changed everything, before Hannah became the golden child and I became the disappointment. I remembered Jennifer at Thanksgiving, sitting silently while everyone else participated in the confrontation, not defending me, but not attacking either. I replied, "I'm willing to meet. Coffee shop on neutral ground. This week, if possible." We met at a small coffee shop downtown on a gray Thursday afternoon. Jennifer arrived 10 minutes early, looking nervous. She'd lost weight since Thanksgiving, and there were dark circles under her eyes. "Elena," she said as I sat down, "thank you for coming. I wasn't sure you would. Your therapist made a compelling case." She winced. "I'm sorry she had to reach out. I was too much of a coward to do it myself." I ordered a coffee and waited. This was her meeting. She needed to do the talking. Jennifer stared at her cup for a long moment before speaking. "I've been in therapy for 2 months, since before Thanksgiving, actually. I started going because I was having panic attacks at work, and I thought it was stress, but it turned out to be guilt. Guilt about what? About everything. About the group chat. About how we treated you. About being too weak to stand up for you." She looked up, her eyes red. "Elena, I hated that chat. I hated every message in it, but I was terrified that if I defended you, I'd become the next target. So you participated instead?" "Yes." Her voice cracked. "And I hate myself for it. Every day I hate myself for it." I sipped my coffee, letting her continue. "After Thanksgiving, after you left, everyone was in shock. Your mom was crying. Hannah was furious. Aunt Patricia locked herself in the bathroom. And all I could think was, we did this. We drove her away, and we deserved it. Did everyone else feel that way?" Jennifer laughed bitterly. "No, most of them were angry at you. Hannah kept saying you were being dramatic. Your dad said you'd come crawling back once you realized you had nowhere else to go. Aunt Patricia wanted to know how we could fix this before anyone outside the family found out. And my mother? Your mom was devastated, but not for the right reasons. She kept saying, how could she humiliate us like this? And what will people think?" Jennifer met my eyes. "Nobody was actually sorry about what they did to you. They were just sorry you found out." The words confirmed what I'd already suspected, but hearing it still stung. "There's more," Jennifer continued. "After Christmas, your mom called a family meeting. Everyone except you, obviously. She wanted to discuss the Elena situation. And Hannah suggested we all agree on a unified story, that you'd had some kind of breakdown, that the promotion went to your head, that we were trying to help you, but you lashed out." Jennifer's hands shook around her coffee cup. "They wanted to make you look crazy, Elena. They wanted to tell people you were unstable so that if you ever told anyone what really happened, nobody would believe you." Rage, cold and sharp, cut through me. Did they go through with it? Some of them did. I know Hannah's been telling her friends that you had a mental health crisis. Your mom told her book club that you're going through something difficult and the family is very worried. I sat back processing this. They weren't just refusing to acknowledge what they'd done. They were actively working to discredit me. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know. And because I can't be part of this family anymore if they're going to do things like this. Jennifer pulled out her phone. "I have something else to show you." She opened the family group chat, the one I'd never been part of. She scrolled up to the day after Thanksgiving. "Hannah, she'll cool off and come back. She always does." My mother: "I hope so. This is so embarrassing." Aunt Patricia: "Maybe we should tone down the chat for a while, just in case she somehow gets access to more messages." My father: "She's being ridiculous, making a scene at Thanksgiving over a few harmless jokes." Uncle George: "Women and their emotions. She'll get over it." Hannah: "If she doesn't come back by Christmas, we'll know she's serious. But honestly, good riddance. She's always been a wet blanket at family events anyway." Jennifer scrolled further. My mother: "2 days before Christmas. I tried emailing her at work. She told me not to contact her there again. again. Can you believe the nerve? Hannah, she's probably enjoying this, finally getting attention, playing the victim. Aunt Patricia, should we send gifts anyway to show we're the bigger people? My father, don't waste the money. She made her choice. I read every message Jennifer showed me, each one worse than the last, each one confirming that they felt no genuine remorse. I left the chat the day after Christmas, Jennifer said quietly. I couldn't stomach it anymore. Hannah noticed and sent me a private message asking if I was turning traitor too. She showed me that message as well. Hannah, seriously, Jen? You're taking Elena's side now? After everything we've shared in that chat? What about family loyalty? Jennifer's response, what about Elena's loyalty? What about treating her like family instead of a punching bag? I'm done. Hannah, you're going to regret this. Have you talked to anyone else in the family since then? I asked. My mom called. She said I was being oversensitive and that the chat was just harmless venting. My dad said I need to learn to take a joke. Jennifer's voice dropped. They've stopped inviting me to Sunday dinners. Hannah blocked my number. I'm effectively being iced out, just like they did to you all those years. The difference is, it only took me 1 month to get the treatment you endured for a lifetime. We sat in silence for a moment. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Jennifer finally said. I don't deserve it. I participated in hurting you for years, but I wanted you to know that at least one person in that family realizes how wrong it all was, and I wanted to warn you about what they're planning. Planning? Your mom's birthday is in February. She's planning a big party. She's already told people you'll be there, that you've reconciled with the family. She's going to use the party to make it look like everything's fine, that you were the one being unreasonable, and that the family graciously forgave you. I felt my jaw clench. She's telling people I've reconciled when she hasn't even spoken to me in over a month? She's telling everyone the story she wants to be true. And if you don't show up, she'll say it's proof you're unstable. If you do show up, she'll act like nothing ever happened and you'll look like the one who overreacted. The manipulation was breathtaking in its calculation. Thank you for telling me this. Jennifer nodded. There's one more thing. The screenshots you mentioned at Thanksgiving, the ones of the group chat, do you really have them? Every single message. Good. She pulled out a flash drive and slid it across the table. Here's my contribution. I downloaded the entire chat history before I left. Years of it. Every cruel comment, every mocking message, every time they excluded you or talked about you like you weren't human. It's all there. I picked up the flash drive. Why? Because someday you might need proof. Someday they might push you too far and you'll need evidence that you're not crazy, that this really happened. And because they don't get to rewrite history, they don't get to pretend they're the victims here. I slipped the flash drive into my purse. What will you do now? Start over, I guess. Make new friends. Build a life that isn't centered around impressing people who'll turn on me the moment I'm no longer useful. She smiled sadly, kind of like what you're doing. It's harder than it sounds, but worth it? I thought about my Thanksgiving with the Caldwells, about my dinners with Monica, about the book club I'd joined, the yoga classes, the volunteer work at the shelter. Yes, I said, it's worth it. We talked for another hour. Jennifer told me about her therapy sessions, about recognizing patterns of toxic behavior she'd learned from the family, about trying to become someone better. I told her about my work, carefully avoiding specifics, and about rebuilding my life. When we parted, Jennifer hugged me tightly. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I hope someday you'll be able to think of me without hate. I don't hate you, Jennifer. I actually respect you for being honest. Really? You're the only one who's admitted the truth. That counts for something. As I drove home, my phone rang. An unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Elena, it was Trevor. Please don't hang up. How did you get this number? Your office directory. Look, I need to talk to you. Not about Hannah, not about your family, about something else. I'm listening. My firm is hosting a charity gala next month. Major donors, important clients, that sort of thing. Hannah was supposed to attend with me, but we've been fighting constantly since Thanksgiving. She's obsessed with the situation with you, and honestly, it's affecting our marriage. That's unfortunate, but not my problem. I know. But I was wondering if you'd consider attending the gala with me. As colleagues, not as family. You clearly know how to navigate these events, and I could use someone who actually wants to be there for professional reasons rather than social drama. I was so surprised I almost drove off the road. You want me to attend a gala in place of your wife? Hannah and I need space right now. And yes, I'd like you there. You impressed a lot of people at the pharmaceutical gala. Several attendees mentioned you afterward. You're exactly the kind of person I need representing our table. Hannah would lose her mind. Hannah needs to learn that the world doesn't revolve around her, and maybe seeing you succeed while she's falling apart will teach her something. I smiled slowly. When is this gala? The gala was on the 15th of February, 1 week after my mother's birthday party that I had no intention of attending. Trevor sent me the details via email, along with a formal invitation and a note. Black tie. Table includes senior partners and major clients. Looking forward to it. I spent the week before my mother's birthday receiving increasingly frantic messages. She'd somehow gotten a new number to text me from. Elena, your birthday party is Saturday at 7. Everyone will be there. Please come. We need to move past this. I've told everyone you'll be there. Don't make me look like a liar. Your father's health is getting worse. This stress isn't helping. Be the bigger person. I blocked that number too. On the day of her party, I was at the yoga studio, followed by dinner with Monica and 2 other friends from the book club. My phone buzzed periodically throughout the evening, but I ignored it. The next morning, I woke to an email from Aunt Patricia, sent to my work address despite my explicit instructions. Elena, your absence at your mother's birthday was noted by everyone. Family friends were asking about you. Your mother was humiliated having having to explain why her own daughter refused to attend her birthday celebration. This has gone on long enough. Whatever grievances you have, they can be worked out. But you're destroying your mother's reputation and causing your father serious health issues. Is your pride really worth tearing the family apart? I forwarded the email to HR with a note. I've received unwanted contact at my work email from a family member despite requesting she cease contact. Please advise on company policy for handling personal harassment via work communication channels. HR responded within an hour, sending a formal cease and desist template I could use. I sent it to every family member's email address I had, clearly stating that any further contact, especially to my work email, would be considered harassment and handled accordingly. The messages stopped. For one blessed week, there was silence. Then came the gala. I wore a midnight blue gown, elegant and sophisticated. My hair was styled in an updo, my makeup flawless. I looked like someone who belonged in these spaces because I did. Trevor picked me up at 7. He looked nervous. Hannah knows I'm taking you, he admitted as we drove. She's furious. She tried to get me to uninvite you, but I refused. We've been sleeping in separate rooms for the past week. You could have told me. I would have understood if you needed to back out. No, I need this. I need one night where I'm not managing Hannah's emotions or dealing with your family's drama. I need to just do my job and network with people who matter to my career. The gala was at the Grand Riverside Hotel, a stunning venue with crystal chandeliers and marble floors. As we entered, I saw several familiar faces from the pharmaceutical industry gala, people who knew me, who respected my work. Elena Mitchell, a voice called out. Marcus Devlin, the board chairman from Caldwell Pharmaceuticals, approached with his wife. What a pleasant surprise. I didn't know you'd be here. I'm attending with Trevor Harrison from Morrison & Associates. Marcus shook Trevor's hand. You're a lucky man to have Elena representing your table. She's brilliant. As Marcus walked away, Trevor whispered, "That's Marcus Devlin. I've been trying to get a meeting with him for 6 months. He's a good man, very focused on integrity and ethics in business." Throughout the cocktail hour, I introduced Trevor to people I knew, board members, executives, influential figures who could help his career. He was professional and charming, clearly in his element when not managing family drama. Then I saw her. Hannah stood across the room, wearing a silver dress that was stunning but inappropriate for the occasion. Too flashy, too attention-seeking. She was with my mother and Aunt Patricia, the three of them clustered together, watching me with expressions of shock and fury. "They weren't supposed to be here," Trevor muttered. "I didn't buy them tickets." "Then how did they get in?" "Hannah must have called in a favor or bought tickets herself." I watched as Hannah said something to my mother, her face twisted with anger. My mother grabbed her arm, clearly trying to calm her down, but Hannah shook her off and started walking toward me. "Here we go," I said quietly. Hannah crossed the room with purposeful strides, her heels clicking against the marble. She stopped directly in front of me, ignoring Trevor entirely. "You have some nerve," she hissed, her voice low but venomous. "Coming here with my husband. Trevor invited me as a professional colleague. This is a business event. This is my husband, my life. You don't get to waltz in and steal it because you're having some kind of breakdown." Several people nearby turned to look. Trevor's face flushed with embarrassment. "Hannah, not here," he said firmly. "We're not doing this here." "Oh, we're absolutely doing this here." She turned to face me fully. "You've been ignoring Mom and Dad for months. You skipped Mom's birthday party out of spite. You've turned Jennifer against the family. And now you're trying to steal my husband? I'm not trying to steal anyone. Trevor and I are attending a professional event." "Professional," she spat. "Please, you're a secretary playing dress up. Stop pretending you belong in places like this." "I'm the chief of staff of a Fortune 500 company," I replied calmly. "I belong here more than you do." Her hand flew up. For a moment, I thought she was actually going to slap me, but Trevor caught her wrist. "That's enough," he said, his voice hard. "You need to leave." "I'm not leaving. You're my husband, and you're embarrassing yourself and me. Go home, Hannah." My mother appeared at Hannah's side, trying to pull her away. "Sweetheart, come on. Let's go get some air." But Hannah wasn't done. She turned to the small crowd that had gathered, her voice rising. "This woman is my sister. She abandoned our family because her feelings got hurt. She's unstable. She's been harassing us for months, and now she's trying to ruin my marriage." The lies were so blatant, so absurd, that I almost laughed. "That's interesting," I said, pulling out my phone, "because I have documented evidence of your family creating a secret group chat to mock and insult me for years. I have voice messages of your aunt calling me pathetic. I have screenshots of messages where you said I was an embarrassment and suggested excluding me from your wedding." Hannah's face went pale. "You're lying." "Am I?" I looked at the crowd. "Should I play the voice message right now? Let everyone hear what my family really thinks of me?" "Elena, please," my mother begged, her voice desperate. "Don't do this." "Don't do what? Tell the truth? Defend myself against lies?" I looked at Hannah. "You came here to humiliate me. You stood in front of all these people and called me unstable, claimed I was harassing you. But the reality is that I've been ignoring your family's attempts to contact me because I refuse to subject myself to more abuse." "Abuse?" Hannah laughed shrilly. "We teased you. That's what families do. You created an entire group chat dedicated to mocking me. You excluded me from family events while laughing about it. You discussed how embarrassing it was to introduce me to people. That's not teasing. That's cruelty." Trevor stepped forward. "Hannah, I told you to leave. If you don't, I will have security escort you out." "You wouldn't dare." He pulled out his phone and made a call. Within minutes, 2 security guards appeared. Hannah's expression crumbled from anger to shock. "Trevor, you can't be serious." "I'm deadly serious." serious. You crashed this event to cause a scene. You attacked your sister publicly. You've made me look unprofessional in front of my colleagues and clients. Leave now or be escorted out." My mother grabbed Hannah's arm. "Come on, sweetheart, let's just go." As the security guards approached, Hannah turned to me one last time. "I'll never forgive you for this." "Good," I replied, "because I'll never forgive you for the years of torture you put me through while pretending to be my sister." They left, my mother practically dragging Hannah toward the exit. Aunt Patricia followed, avoiding my eyes. The crowd slowly dispersed, murmuring amongst themselves. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. Trevor touched my arm gently. "I'm so sorry. I should have known she'd pull something like this. It's not your fault." Marcus Devlin reappeared at my side. "Are you all right, Elena?" "I'm fine, thank you." "That took courage, standing up for yourself like that." He glanced in the direction Hannah had gone. "Family can be complicated, but you handled that with remarkable grace." The rest of the evening passed smoothly. Trevor and I networked, discussed business, made valuable connections. He seemed lighter somehow, as if a weight had been lifted. During dinner, he leaned over and said quietly, "I'm filing for divorce." I set down my fork. "Because of tonight? Because of everything. Tonight just made it clear that I can't do this anymore. The constant drama, the manipulation, the way she treats people, especially you." He paused. "I've been miserable for a year, but I kept telling myself it would get better. After seeing how she acted tonight, how your whole family acts, I realized it never will. She'll never change because she doesn't think she's done anything wrong." "I'm sorry, Trevor." "Don't be. You did me a favor. You showed me what it looks like to have boundaries, to stand up for yourself. I need to do the same." When Trevor dropped me off at home that night, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "This is Jennifer. Hannah just called me screaming. She said you humiliated her at some gala. I told her she humiliated herself. Just wanted you to know you have at least one person in the family on your side." I smiled and replied, "Thank you. That means more than you know." The next morning, I woke to 17 missed calls from my father's number and an email from my mother's new account. "Elena, you've gone too far. Having your sister thrown out of an event by security? What is wrong with you? Your father wants to meet with you to discuss your behavior. This Thursday at 6 at the house. Be there." I deleted the email and blocked the new account, but my father's persistence was harder to ignore. He called my office directly, getting past the receptionist by claiming it was a family emergency. "Elena, we need to talk." His voice boomed through the phone. "I'm at work, Dad. This isn't appropriate. Neither is having your sister thrown out of an event like some kind of criminal." "What were you thinking?" "I was thinking that she crashed the event to cause a scene," which she did. "Security removed her for disruptive behavior. That was Trevor's decision, not mine. Trevor is filing for divorce because of you. Trevor is filing for divorce because of Hannah, because of her behavior, her drama, her treatment of people. I had nothing to do with that decision. You poisoned him against her." "I've barely spoken to Trevor outside of professional settings. Any poisoning happened because of Hannah's own actions." My father was silent for a moment. Then, "Your mother is devastated. Hannah is falling apart. This family is being destroyed, and it's your fault." The accusation was so absurd, I almost hung up, but something in me snapped. "My fault? I'm not the one who created a secret group chat to mock a family member. I'm not the one who excluded someone from family events for entertainment. I'm not the one who lied about someone having a mental breakdown to cover up my own cruelty. Every single consequence your family is facing is the direct result of your own choices. We're your family. No, you're people who share my DNA. Family doesn't treat each other the way you've treated me. If you don't sit down with us and work this out, you're no longer welcome in this family." I felt a strange calm settle over me. Good, because I don't want to be part of a family that would treat anyone the way you've treated me. Don't contact me again, Dad. I mean it. Not at work, not at home, not ever. I hung up and immediately called HR. I need to file a formal complaint about family members contacting me at work, despite multiple requests to cease contact. 3 months passed. Spring arrived, bringing with it a sense of renewal that felt almost symbolic. I threw myself into my work at Caldwell Pharmaceuticals. The operational restructuring project I'd been leading was a massive success, saving the company over $15 million annually while improving efficiency across all departments. Richard called me into his office on a Thursday afternoon in late April. "Elena, the board wants to offer you a position as Vice President of Operations, salary of $375,000, plus expanded stock options and a performance bonus structure. You've earned this." I accepted, feeling proud of what I'd accomplished on my own merit, without family connections or manipulation. My personal life had transformed as well. Monica and I had become genuinely close friends. The book club had evolved into a tight-knit group of women who supported each other. I'd started dating someone I'd met through work. Nothing serious yet, but promising. I'd built a life filled with people who valued me, who celebrated my successes, who were there during difficult moments. I hadn't heard from my family in 2 months. The silence was peaceful. Then, on a Tuesday morning in May, Jennifer called. "Elena, I thought you should know. Your dad had a heart attack. He's okay, he's stable, but he's in the hospital." My first instinct was concern, the automatic response of a daughter hearing her father was ill. But it was followed immediately by suspicion. "When did this happen?" "Last night. Your mom has been calling everyone, telling them how terrible it is that you're not there, how you've abandoned the family in their time of need." "Of course she is." "I'm not calling to guilt you into going," Jennifer said quickly. "I'm calling because I thought you deserved to know the truth before the manipulated version reaches you. Your dad's heart attack was mild. The doctors say he'll make a full recovery. He needs to change change his diet and reduce stress, but he's not dying. Thank you for telling me. Your mom is planning to use this to force a reconciliation. She's already told people that if you don't visit, it proves you're heartless and vindictive. I closed my eyes, feeling exhausted by the predictability of it all. Let her say whatever she wants. You're not going to visit? I'll send flowers and a card wishing him well. But I'm not walking back into that toxicity. I did exactly that. I sent an expensive arrangement to the hospital with a card that read, Dad, wishing you a full and speedy recovery. Take care of your health. Elena. My mother called my office within hours. The receptionist transferred the call before I could stop her. You sent flowers? My mother's voice was shrill. Your father is in the hospital and you sent flowers? I wished him well and hoped for his recovery. That's appropriate. Appropriate? Coming to see him would be appropriate. He's your father, and he's stable, according to Jennifer. He's going to make a full recovery. That's not the point. The point is that family shows up for each other. Like you showed up for me? The words came out before I could stop them. Like Hannah showed up for me. Like any of you showed up when I needed support. We're talking about your father's health, not your hurt feelings about some stupid group chat. Some stupid group chat. Years of mockery and exclusion dismissed in 5 words. Goodbye, Mom. I hope Dad recovers quickly. Don't you dare hang up on me. I ended the call and immediately instructed the receptionist to never transfer calls from that number again. That evening, I received an email from my father himself, sent from his hospital bed. Elena, I've had time to think while lying here. Life is short. Family grudges aren't worth it. I'm asking you to let this go. Come to the hospital. Talk to your mother and sister. Work this out. You're tearing this family apart over nothing. Be the bigger person. Over nothing. Years of cruelty reduced to nothing. I replied, Dad, I'm glad you're recovering. I'm not holding a grudge. I'm protecting myself from people who've demonstrated repeatedly that they don't value or respect me. I wish you all the best, but I won't be resuming contact with the family. Take care of yourself. His response came within minutes. Then you're no daughter of mine. Don't bother visiting when I'm actually dying. You won't be welcome. I read the message 3 times, waiting for the pain to hit, but it didn't. Instead, I felt only relief. The last thread connecting me to them had finally been cut by his own hand. I forwarded the message to Jennifer with a note. Documentation for if they ever claim I abandoned them. Her response, saved. I'm so sorry, Elena. You deserve better. The following week, I learned through Jennifer that Trevor's divorce from Hannah was proceeding. Hannah had hired an aggressive attorney and was demanding half of everything, claiming she'd sacrificed her career for the marriage. The irony wasn't lost on me, given how much she'd bragged about her real estate success. She's already dating someone new, Jennifer reported during one of our now regular coffee meetings. Some guy she met at a bar. She's posting all over social media about fresh starts and toxic people. Good for her. She's also telling everyone that Trevor left her for you. I looked up from my coffee. What? She's claiming you seduced him at the gala, that you've been having an affair, that you destroyed her marriage out of jealousy. That's absolutely insane. Trevor and I have never been anything but professional colleagues. I know that. Most people with brains know that, but some of Mom's friends are eating it up. The narrative is that you're a homewrecker who stole your sister's husband because you were jealous of her happiness. I sat back, shaking my head. They'll never stop, will they? They'll never accept responsibility. It's always going to be my fault somehow. That's why I left, Jennifer said quietly. Once I saw how they operated, I couldn't unsee it. They're incapable of self-reflection. In June, I received an invitation to Hannah's birthday party. Not from Hannah herself, but from my mother, sent to my home address. Despite everything, we're still family. Hannah would like you at her birthday celebration. It's time to move forward. Please come. Saturday, June 20th at 7 at the Riverside Restaurant. I threw the invitation away. On June 20th, while Hannah's party was presumably happening, I was at a work celebration. I'd been named one of the pharmaceutical industry's top 40 under 40 by a major trade publication. Richard hosted a dinner at an exclusive restaurant with board members and senior executives in attendance. Speeches were made. My accomplishments were detailed. Richard called me the future of this company. My phone buzzed with a text from Monica, who I'd invited, but who couldn't make it. Just saw Hannah's Instagram story. She's at some restaurant crying about how her sister abandoned her on her birthday. The comments are roasting her. People are asking why her sister isn't there, and apparently someone recognized you from the pharmaceutical gala drama and spilled the tea about what really happened. I checked Instagram out of morbid curiosity. Hannah had indeed posted a video of herself at dinner, mascara running, talking about family betrayal. But the comments weren't sympathetic. Girl, didn't you create a group chat to bully your sister for years? Aren't you the one who got thrown out of a gala for causing a scene? Maybe your sister isn't there because you're toxic? Pretty sure your sister is successful and you're jealous. Someone had posted screenshots from the pharmaceutical gala showing Hannah being escorted out by security. Another person had shared details about the family group chat, information that could have only come from someone in the family, Jennifer, perhaps, or another cousin who'd finally had enough. The truth was spreading, despite my family's attempts to control the narrative. I closed Instagram and returned to my celebration, surrounded by people who respected me, who valued my contributions, who treated me like I mattered. In August, I received one final communication from my family, a letter handwritten by my mother, sent via certified mail to ensure I received it. Elena, it's been almost a year since Thanksgiving, a year of pain and division in this family. Your father's health is still fragile. Hannah's marriage is over. I'm on anxiety medication again because of the stress. Jennifer has completely cut us off. This family is falling apart, and I need you to know that it's your fault. You're the one who chose pride over family. You're the one who refused to forgive. You're the one who couldn't let go of a small misunderstanding and move forward. If anything happens to your father, if Hannah never recovers from her divorce, if this family never heals, that blood is on your hands. I raised you to be better than this. I'm ashamed of what you've become. Don't contact us again unless you're ready to apologize for the damage you've caused. Mother. I read the letter once, then put it in a folder with all the other documentation, the voice message from Aunt Patricia, the screenshots from Jennifer, my father's email disowning me, now this letter, blaming me for every consequence of their own actions. I wrote a response, not to send, but for myself. Dear Mother, I'm not the one who created a group chat to mock a family member. I'm not the one who excluded someone for years while pretending to love them. I'm not the one who lied about someone having a mental breakdown to cover up my own cruelty. I'm not the one who refused to apologize or take responsibility. Every single thing that's happened to this family is the direct result of choices you all made. I'm not carrying that guilt. I'm not accepting that blame. I'm finally, after 32 years, putting myself first, and I've never been happier. Elena. I didn't send it. I didn't need to. The letter was for me, a declaration of freedom. 6 months later, in February, I was promoted again. Executive Vice President of Operations. $425,000 salary, corner office, direct report to the CEO. At 33 years old, I was one of the most powerful executives in the company. Richard shook my hand during the promotion announcement. You've built something remarkable here, Elena, not just in terms of business results, but in how you lead people. You create environments where people feel valued. That's a rare gift. I thought about his words as I stood in my new corner office, looking out over the city. Create environments where people feel valued. I'd learned what that looked like by experiencing its opposite. I'd learned what I needed by understanding what I'd been denied. My phone buzzed. A text from Monica. Dinner tonight to celebrate? My treat. Another text from Jennifer. Saw the announcement on LinkedIn. So proud of you, cousin. A third. From the man I'd been dating for 3 months. My brilliant girlfriend. Can't wait to celebrate with you this weekend. These people, the family I'd chosen, filled my life with genuine love and support. I never heard from my birth family again. Through Jennifer, I learned that my parents had eventually accepted that I wasn't coming back. Hannah had remarried quickly to someone Jennifer described as exactly like her, which explains a lot. My father's health had stabilized. Life went on for them, as it went on for me. The difference was that my life was filled with joy, with authenticity, with people who celebrated my successes rather than resenting them. I'd built something real, something solid, something mine. Sometimes late at night, I still thought about that Thanksgiving dinner, about walking out of my parents' house for the last time, about the voice message that had changed everything. I didn't regret it, not for a second, because the secret group chat where they insulted me, the voice message my aunt accidentally sent calling me names, had been a gift. Not a pleasant one, but a necessary one. It had shown me the truth about people I'd spent my whole life trying to please. It had freed me to build the life I deserved. And that life, the one I was living now, was more than I'd ever imagined possible. What do you think of this story? Have you ever had to distance yourself from toxic family members? Share your experience in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true stories about standing up for yourself and finding strength in difficult times. Thank you for watching, and remember, family betrayal hurts, but sometimes walking away is the bravest thing you can do.